Hare Krishna Kanhai Prabhu, you are on the mute, Prabhu.
Oh, we can't hear.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, you are on the mute.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udire Shinvatam Swakatha Krishna Punyashravana Kirtana Yadyantasto Yabhadrani Vadnoti Suhitsatam Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya Bhagavate Uttam Shlokir Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 4, verses 5 and 6. Verse 5. Tam Sarika Kundaka Darpana Bhuja Sveta Tapatra Vyajana Srag Adibhi Gitayaner Dundubhi Shankhavenubhir Vishendram Aropya Vitankita Yu Tam, her, Sati, Sarika, pet bird, Kanduka, ball, Darpan, mirror, Ambuja, lotus flower, Shweta, Atapatra, white umbrella, Vyajana, Shauri, Shrak, garland, Adibhi, and others, Gita Yane, accompanied with music, Dundubhi, drums, Shankha, conch shells, Venubhi, with flutes, Vrisha Indram, on the bull, Aropya, placing, Vitankita, decorated, Yayu, they went. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The disciples of Lord Shiva arranged for Sati to be seated on the back of a bull and gave her the bird which was her pet. They bore a lotus flower, a mirror, and all such paraphernalia for her enjoyment, and covered her with a great canopy, followed by a singing party with drums, conch shells, and bugles. The entire procession was as pompous as a royal parade. Text 6. Brahma Ghoshorjita Yagya Vaishasam Viprarsi Justam Vibhudescha Sarvasa Vridadarva Aya Kanchana Darbha Charmabhir Nishrista Bhandam Yajanam Samavishat. Synonyms. From all sides, Brahma Ghosh, with the sounds of the Vedic hymns. Urjita, decorated. Yagya, sacrifice. Vaishasam, destruction of animals. Viprasi Yustam, attended by the great sages. Vibhudhe, with demigods. Cha, and Sarvasha, on all sides. Mrit, clay. Daru, wood. Paya, iron. Kanchana, gold. Darbha, kusha, grass. Charmabhi, skins. Nishrista, made of. Bhandam, sacrificial animals and pots. Yajanam, sacrifice. Samavishat, entered. Translation. Prabhu? She then reached her father's house where the sacrifice was being performed and entered the arena where everyone was chanting the Vedic hymns. The great sages, Brahmanas, and demigods were all assembled there, and there were many sacrificial animals, as well as pots made of clay, stone, gold, grass, and skin, which were all requisite for the sacrifice. Purport. When learned sages and Brahmanas assembled to chant Vedic mantras, some of them also engage in arguing about the conclusion and the scriptures. Thus, some of the sages and Brahmanas were arguing, and some of them were chanting the Vedic mantras, so the entire atmosphere was surcharged with transcendental sound vibration. This transcendental sound vibration has been simplified in the transcendental vibration Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. In this age, no one is expected to be highly educated in the Vedic ways of understanding because people are very slow, lazy, and unfortunate. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya has recommended the sound vibration Hare Krishna, and in the Srimad Bhagavatam 11.532, it is also recommended Yagya Sankirtana Prayar Yajanti Hi Sumedasha. At the present moment, it is impossible to gather sacrificial necessities because of the poverty of the population and their lack of knowledge in Vedic mantras. Therefore, for this age, it is recommended that people gather together and chant the Hare Krishna mantra to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is accompanied by his associates. Indirectly, this indicates Lord Chaitanya, who is accompanied by his associates Nityananda, Advaita, and others. That is the process of performing yajna in this age. Om Jnana Timirindhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Vanchakalpatarubhyacha Kripasindhubhyeva Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshatari. So these two verses describe the arguments between Sati and her husband, Lord Shiva. Sati wanting to go to her father's yajna that is being organized by her father Daksha, and all her relatives, their sisters and their husbands, all the other relatives have been invited except Lord Shiva and Sati. Sati was one of the very favorite daughters of Daksha, but since she chose to marry Lord Shiva, she came into some kind of a disfavor from her father. So, and prior to this also, there was another yajna that was organized for the universal affairs where Daksha was the chief of guests. So in that assembly, Daksha had cursed Lord Shiva, and Shiva tolerated, even though he is the most tolerable person, he could tolerate even drinking the ocean, even drinking the poison that was churned out of the ocean. So you can understand his tolerance. He tolerated, but his devotees did not. So some of his devotees engaged in cursing the Brahmanas that were present there. And as a result, the Brahmanas also cursed Lord Shiva and his associates. But Lord Shiva, while the cursing and counter-cursing was going on, Lord Shiva left the arena and came back to his own abode at Kailash. But now the second yajna is being organized by Daksha particularly, and it is called Vajpaya yajna. And here everybody is invited except Lord Shiva and Sati. But Sati, who was so much attached to her father, thought that it could be just just an oversight on their part not to have considered me. Or even if they are upset with Lord Shiva, why should they be upset with me? So but the fact is that she was not invited along with Lord Shiva. So while discussing this, or like trying to seek permission from her husband, that if she could go to the yagya, which was denied by Lord Shiva, that where you are going uninvited, you are not welcome properly. You're not welcome, and this is like equivalent of being insulted and equivalent to being to death. So please don't go there uninvited, because Daksha is very upset with us. So please do not go. And as is the normal etiquette, even today, everybody is even though we may tend to take people for granted, we do not want to go uninvited to any important place, and especially if there is any little bit of friction that is there between the host and the person who is considering going there uninvited. So, so you should understand that is what is being taught here, that the family life, in the family life, the wife and the husband, the children, they are supposed to listen to the head of the family, who is the husband of the family there, head of the family there, and as such, the lady, the chaste wife, should listen to the husband and follow the husband, even though today a lot of people choose to ignore. A lot of people, openly sometimes even criticize their own husband. But in an ideal situation, such things should not happen. And so, but here the scenario is that she, after having an argument, gets upset and say that, okay, I am going to, I don't agree with you. I am leaving for my father's yagya now, where I'll be seeing my parents, my sisters, and So that's where we are brought to at this point. And then, but then Shiva's followers who were there, they arrange when she breezes out of the house, or to go to her parents' place, the followers, Nandi, Brindi, others Yakshas, they all make arrangements for her, by giving her a ride on the bull, by putting a canopy, making loud noises, just like how you have, everything has now become like, a car where you have music, where you have a cover. So, so the ride is there. You don't even need a driver to drive also. You can drive it yourself. And nowadays you have, automatic cars also which drive which drive you. So this is where it is leading to where Sati is going to her husband's place. Leaving from her husband's place to go to her parents' place. So we should understand this part, that the result of such activities where there is disagreement like this. And here also, when she is reaching the assembly, or they in the Vedic hymns are going on and on, it mentions about there are some chanting going on, and some munis who are engaging in agreement and disagreement, and there are arguments going on, presenting opinions. Prabhupada says also in Bhagavad Gita that muni, the word muni itself means the one who does not agree with the other muni. So you cannot be a muni. So there is this two category: muni, ordinary muni, who is always in argument with the fellow muni to come to some conclusion, or there is a debate going on. And the other kind of muni is sthir dhi muni. the one who is focused Muni. So that is what is described in Bhagavad Gita by Krishna to Arjuna in chapter 4, in chapter 6. Sorry. So one who has his mind under control. So that is normal. Even today it is like that. One learned person does not necessarily agree with the other learned person here also. So, and other thing is that the yajna that is there, Prabhupada mentioned that in Srimad Bhagavatam 11.532, that is also the indicated shloka where the appearance or of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is described. So the yajnas happen like that, and then Prabhupada also mentioned that all this the practice of which presently is called Smarta Brahmana practices, where recitation of Vedic mantras go on for a few days for purificatory process or some sanskaras and other things, but not everybody is qualified to do that, and a very handful of people in today's time, that too in the South India, southern side, are qualified right now to chant, and that too, they may not even be chanting with the proper pronunciation. And even if they're chanting, then they probably disregard the meaning. And for the one who is listening to such chantings, they do not understand what's being chanted, what is the meaning, because that is not explained in such functions. So for today's time, everything has been compacted into this 16 syllable, the verse, the Maha Mantra, where the holy names are chanted as a sacrifice to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. The goal is basically to take lesson from such chapters to improve relations, because we are all descending from Lord Shiva and Mother Parvati, and in this material world, Durga and Shiva, Umapati, they are our Purvaja. From them we have been descending. We are not primary creation. Primary creation, like where Lord Brahma is there, created from Vishnu, but after that, from Brahma, Lord Shiva, Narada Muni, and Prajapatis and everything comes down, and in the material world, from Lord Shiva, who is in charge of the material mode of ignorance, the living entities, take birth from them, like in that thing, and he is the topmost Vaishnava. So we have to understand that we have to give him that status of a Vaishnava and worship, but his goal is not for us to get entangled in the material paraphernalia here, but to connect back. He is here to guide us, even in his own, even though he is in charge of mode of ignorance, but still he is here to guide us. So if we decide to go choose the path of Vaishnava behavior, then he is here to guide us to become Vaishnava and help us go back to that Godhead and there associate with the Lord and realize our own spiritual constitutional position. Thank you so much. I'll stop here. Hare Krishna. Have a wonderful